Toxins in your toothbrush? From our kitchens to our bloodstreams, plastics have become an invisible but powerful force. And while they have made life convenient, they may be silently harming our health. Let's uncover the hidden dangers of plastics and the empowering swaps you can make starting today. Take a look around your home. Literally, plastics are everywhere, and many of them don't look dangerous at all. In your kitchen, you will likely find plastic food containers, wrap, cutting boards, utensils, blender parts, and non-stick coatings. On your fridge, there's sauces, dressings, and even filtered water often sits in plastics for days, sometimes months. In the bathroom, think about your toothbrush, shampoo bottle, face wash tubes, and razors. In the living room, look around your remote control, cable insulation, foam cushions, synthetic fabrics, and electronics. In your bedroom, polyester bedding, memory foam mattresses, synthetic pillows, and plastic-based furniture coatings can release volatile organic compounds that disrupt indoor air quality and may harm your respiratory system. Even your children's toys, bottles, sippy cups, and pacifiers often contain soft plastics that are more prone to chemical migration. Plastics are made from petrochemicals, byproducts of fossil fuels. They are hardened and softened with substances like BPA and phthalates, which can leach into our food, drinks, and bodies. Plastics can enter through multiple routes. We drink from plastic bottles, heat food in plastic containers, breathe in microplastic dusts, and absorb chemicals through our skin. Recent studies have found microplastics in human blood, lungs, and even placentas. We may be ingesting thousands of plastic particles each week, often without knowing. Here's where things get personal. Many plastics, including those labeled safe, aren't just cluttering the environment, they are quietly infiltrating your body's most delicate communication system, your endocrine system, also known as hormonal highway. So let's break it down. Plastics like BPA found in receipts, can linings, plastic bottles, and phthalates found in soft plastics and fragrances are what scientists call endocrine disrupting chemicals. What does that mean? Well, these chemicals mimic, block, or interfere with natural hormones in your body. And the scary part, they can cause big problems even in tiny doses. So let's look at just a few hormones they can disrupt. Estrogen. BPA mimics estrogen, tricking your body into thinking there's more than there actually is. For women, this can mean irregular cycles, PMS, and even increased risk of breast cancer. For men, it can lower testosterone and sperm count. Yes, exposure to plastics may be making men less fertile. Phthalates especially are known to suppress testosterone. BPA and phthalates can interfere with how thyroid hormones are produced and how your cells respond to them, causing symptoms like weight gain, fatigue, and brain fog. Fetuses and children are especially vulnerable. These hormone disruptors can alter how a child's brain, reproductive system, and metabolism develop. Studies now link prenatal plastic exposure to early puberty, ADH, and developmental delay. There are over 1,400 peer-reviewed studies confirm that endocrine disrupting chemicals like BPA and phthalates impact human health. Yet, these chemicals are still in food packaging, personal care products, and even baby items. Health effects linked to plastics include fertility issues, hormone imbalances, obesity, insulin resistance, early puberty, and even certain cancers. Nowhere is the risk more from plastics more concerning than in our children. Infants and young children are not small adults. Their bodies, their brains, their hormones are still developing. That development depends on precise hormone signaling at just the right times. Now imagine if a chemical comes in and disrupts that signal, or pretends to be a hormone, or blocks one entirely. That's exactly what plastic-derived chemicals like BPA and phthalates do. So here's the problem. Children's bodies are smaller, so a given dose of a chemical has a greater concentration in their tissue, less capable of detoxifying these substances. Their liver and kidneys are still immature. More vulnerable during critical windows like in utero, first 2 years of life, and puberty. Studies show that early exposure to hormone disrupting plastics is linked to earlier onset of puberty, ADHD and behavioral changes, increased risk for obesity and metabolic syndrome later in life, reduced fertility in adulthood. Let's just let that sink in. A child's adult fertility can be shaped by what kind of bottle or toy they're exposed to as a baby. And here's the kicker. These exposures are entirely preventable, but the burden of protection is placed on parents, not manufacturers. There are no federal regulation banning phthalates or BPA from all children products in the US. Many items are self-labeled as safe without independent testing. As parents, caregivers, or advocates, we must ask why are chemicals with known hormone disrupting effect still being used in products made for our vulnerable population, and what we can do about it. Heating food in plastics, storing fatty or acidic foods in plastics, and drinking from plastic bottles, these all increase your exposure to harmful chemicals. BPA free doesn't mean safe. Many BPA alternatives like BPS or BPF can be just as harmful or worse. Industry just swaps one problem for another. Microplastics are plastic particles smaller than 5 millimeters, and many are invisible to the naked eye. They come from breakdown of larger plastics, bottles, bags, fibers, from synthetic clothing, even tires. They float through the ocean and end up in the food chain. Seafood is one of the most impacted categories. Plastic fibers and fragrance have been found in fish guts, mussels and oyster tissues, shrimp digestive tracts, and when we eat these animals, we are ingesting their plastic burden. But it's not just the seafood, even salt. Sometimes most of us use something most of us uses every single day. It's contaminated. Studies examine sea salt from around the world have found plastic particles in over 90% of brands tested. Scientists estimate that the average person may be ingesting a credit card's worth of plastic every week, mostly from food, salt, and water. Now, stop and think about that for a second. Plastic, built to last forever, is now part of your food system. And what does it do to the human body? Well, while we're still learning the full impact, early research suggests inflammation of the gut lining, disruption of the gut microbiome, possible endocrine disruption from plastic additives, potential immune system activation due to constant foreign particles. Some microplastics are small enough to pass through the intestinal wall and enter the bloodstream, even reaching organs like the liver or the brain. So when we talk about plastic pollution, we are not just talking about turtles or floating trash island. We're talking about our bodies. And here's a crucial point. There's no way to wash it off or cook it away. Once microplastics are in seafood or salt, they are in there and they end up in you. Only about 9% of all plastic ever produced has been recycled. The rest ends up in landfills, oceans, or is burned, releasing toxic chemicals into the air. You have heard the facts. Plastics are everywhere and they're getting into your body. But now comes the part where you take power back. Let's start by asking better questions, because the most important tool you have to reduce your plastic exposure is your awareness. Is the plastic leaching into your food or drink? Most people don't realize that not all plastics are created equal. Some are far more likely to release chemicals, especially when exposed to heat, acidic foods, oils, or even when they become scratched or worn out. Even BPA-free plastics may contain BPS, a similar compound with its own set of endocrine disrupting effects. So if you are storing leftovers or reheating meals, ask yourself, should I be using glass or ceramic instead? Is this safe to heat? Never heat plastics in the microwave. Opt for heat resistance, borosilicate glass, ceramics, or stainless steel cookware instead. Is this bottle safe for daily use? Think about your water bottles, your coffee lid, your kid's sippy cup, or your blender bottle that gets tossed around and washed every day. What does BPA-free actually means? Many products are labeled BPA-free, but that's just the start of the story. Manufacturers often replaces BPA with BPS, BPF, or other bisphenols, which may be just as harmful or worse. So is there a safer, reusable alternative? Yes, there almost always is. Can I swap this for a glass, stainless steel, wood, or silicone? Can I reduce my reliance on single-use plastics like wraps and Ziplocs? And for items like utensils, straws, and plates, go bamboo, metal, or compostable when you can. How do I store this food more safely? Plastic wrap may seem convenient, but there are better options. Beeswax wrap, silicone stretch leads, glass containers with bamboo leads, stainless steel tiffins. The bottom line, the plastic industry wants you to stay passive, to keep using what's convenient and not ask too many questions. But your health and your family's health depend on you doing the opposite by simply pausing and asking, is this plastic safe under heat? Is it scratched or worn? Is there a better alternative? You become part of the solution. You don't need to go 100% plastic free overnight, but asking the right questions puts you on the right path, a safer path, a healthier path. Let's start where it all begins, your kitchen. It's ground zero for daily plastic exposure. From reheating leftovers to storing fresh produce, we often use plastic out of convenience, but the kitchen is also the easiest place to make meaningful swaps. So instead of using plastic container that scratch, wrap, and leach chemicals over time, swap to glass container with bamboo or silicone lids. They're durable, oven safe, and don't transfer toxins into your food. That clingy film may keep your food fresh, the plastic wrap, but it can also leach chemicals, especially onto fatty or warm foods. Try beeswax wrap instead. Plastic pitchers can release microplastic into very water you're trying to purify. Use glass or stainless steel pitchers instead. Your daily routine, because personal care is another area where plastic dominates. Toothbrushes, shampoo bottles, razors, lotions, deodorants. Well, go for bamboo toothbrush with compostable bristles. Try stainless steel safety razor instead of disposable plastic razor. Replace liquid soaps with bar soap or shampoo bars wrapped in papers. Ditch the plastic bottle and switch to stainless steel, glass, or insulated ceramics. Hot drinks plus plastic lids equals a cocktail for leached chemicals. When it comes to children, the stakes are higher. Infants and toddlers are far more sensitive to chemicals that disrupt their developing system. That's why making swaps in your child's environment is one of the most impactful decisions you can make. Choose glass baby bottles or stainless steel sippy cups instead of plastic. Opt for wooden toy, cloth dolls, and non-toxic paint finishes instead of cheap plastic toys that often end up in the mouth. Look for toys that are labeled BPA-free, PVC-free, and phthalate-free, or better yet, toys made from natural materials. Use stainless steel bento boxes instead of plastic lunch containers. Children are not just smaller adults. Their liver and kidneys are still developing. Their hormone systems are forming. Their exposures today shape their health tomorrow. So when it comes to your child's body, less plastic is always better. You are not just reducing risk, you're setting them up for healthier, more conscious life. Yes, industries need to be held accountable, but while policy catches up, our daily choices can reduce exposure and send a message through our buying power. Ask smart questions, swap out harmful items, share this knowledge. Your health and the planet will thank you. What plastic items are you planning to swap first? Drop it in the comment section. Reducing plastic exposure isn't about perfection. It's about awareness and action. Every step you take is a step toward a cleaner body and healthier planet.
Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.